Hey guys, Will here, and it's been a while. That's right, I've been inactive for basically all of fall and most of winter for this year. Don't have any good reason other than just busy with life and just kind of, decompressing from 2020. But I'm back, so just want to do a quick little video here to get back in the swing of things here and let everyone know I'm doing fine, still alive, and just wanted to review what I was able to do in 2020, and then get a little preview of what I'm expecting or hoping to do for 2021. Yeah, 2020. Early last year, I did a video discussing a lot of big plans I had for last year, a lot of big trips I was looking forward to, I'd penciled in, and well, most of them, if not all of them, didn't happen. I don't think there's much explanation for why they didn't happen. I think everyone's had some big plans get derailed in some form or fashion last year, but but I did get to do some backpacking, not nearly as much as I had hoped to, but a few great trips did happen. First trip of the year that I was really happy to get out on was when I got to go explore Naturalist Basin up in the Uintas a little bit more. It was my third visit into that basin. Was hoping to find a route that I had in mind to get up and over and down into Middle Basin and make a big loop out of it. That didn't happen for various reasons, but something I definitely want to look at maybe trying again in the future, but from the other side, and scout that other side out for to make sure the path that I was on goes well enough from both ways. So that was one good trip that happened. Shortly after that, I was able to do, about a month later, another trip in the Uintas, another solo trip that was huge for me. I tackled 4 basins, 4 passes in 4 days, and I don't even remember how much vertical gain it was, but it was a lot with all those passes. And half of that trip, or a good chunk of it, was off trail and off designated routes. So that was fun, upping my adventure game there, connecting all those basins, and great route, save the descent off of Dead Horse Pass. That part was not fun at all. Much easier going up Dead Horse Pass from the Dead Horse Lake side, which is the north side, and descending off the south side than it is the other way around. Definitely don't like descending Dead Horse Pass, the north face of it. So, and then lastly, gosh, did I only backpack 3 times last year? I think I only was able to manage 3 backpacking trips last year. The third trip was also a blast. It was with Devin from Backcountry Exposure. We did the Boulder Mail Trail, at least a section of it, down near Escalante, Utah, and dipped down into Death Hollow and came out Escalante River. Really popular route. A lot of people like to do it. That was one that had been on my bucket list or to-do list for a number of years. So really glad got to do that with Devin, and that was just a great trip. Perfect conditions, all things considered. So yeah. So that was 2020 in a nutshell, as far as the good things that happened backpacking wise for me. But now we are in a new year, new month. It's 2021. Didn't do much with January, but it's February now. It's actually Groundhog's Day when this video will be released. That's got to be a good sign, right? Hopefully the groundhog doesn't see a shadow this year and we can get on with spring. So with that said, let's look at what's on tap for 2021. So at the end of this month, I am hoping to try to get my legs back under me a little bit with a little bit of a short 1 to 2 night trip. I'm looking at going down to Cedar Mesa. Haven't been there for a few years now. Really don't think I've done much with it since it became embroiled with the big huge Bears Ears controversy that is still kind of going on. So regardless of people's politics out there, I love that landscape. So regardless of what status of the land down there ultimately becomes, I just hope it continues to be publicly accessible and continues to be a place of beauty and pristine landscapes that it has been. And it's just so full of rich archaeology and history and just things that make you just really wonder of an era that precedes, the founding of the United States, really. So, really, really fascinating place down there. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what route I want to do yet, but I am aiming for the end of this month to jump all over that, and might be around Fish and Owl Creek area, might be somewhere else. I'm gonna keep going over possibilities for that. So then after that February trip, later on this spring, probably April sometime, maybe mid-April, I'm hoping to take Jess, my wife, out for a couple nights, and hoping to go explore a place in northern Capitol Reef off trail, and kind of a little lesser known, like very little known place. So I'm gonna try and probably keep it that way. But it's got some connection to Jessica and her family history. We've never been there though, so we've just heard stories about it through her family, and really want to take her out and go check it out. Go do some off-trail exploring up in the northern part of Capitol Reef National Park. Have not done any backpacking down in there yet. Only a scenic drive through there at one point with the family. So really, really excited to try and make that happen. And then from spring, we roll on into summer. And in summer is where the biggest trip of my life to date is set to happen if all things go according to plan. So at the end of July, I am looking to do the Wind River High Route, one of the 2 high routes. That is, my friend Blake, who I haven't backpacked with for, 3, maybe 4 years since we last went out together. Unfortunately, a few years ago, he had to move out of state and take the next step in his career path and his career journey. Well, he just recently moved back with his family back into state, and he reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to join up with him and try and make that trail happen. So that'll be the biggest trip biggest route either of us have done in terms of off-trail adventure, I think. Can't entirely speak for Blake, but I think for both of us, the longest and largest trips we've done to date has been the Uinta Highline Trail. He did it last year. I did a majority of it a few years back myself. And what's also exciting is that since the last time we backpacked together, we've both shed a ton of weight from what our backpacking systems used to be. We've both evolved to lightweight and ultralight setups, and I'm still striving to get a little bit more ultralight between now and then. So that'll be fun. So seriously, I am just super stoked for that trip to happen, hoping like crazy that trip happens, because that will just be so epic. We're picking the Dixon route to do because, again, our biggest trip thus far has been the Highline Trail, respectively, and I just think the Dixon route for a high route is the next step up for us, not having any other experience with any other high routes, with how much off trail there is. And then I think if that all goes well and we get that experience under our belt, we're only going to thirst to come back in a future year, or to go back in a future year and actually tackle the longer, slightly more aggressive Skirka route, which takes in a little bit more of the southern end of the range, a little bit more of the northern end of the range. That sees a lot less traffic and pressure than so much of the middle range, from the Cirque of the Towers up to Titcomb Basin. So yeah, so anyways, lots of sections of that range has been on my bucket list, to-do list, as, you know, weekend or half-week routes. Well, now we're going to be up there for a full week, linking up so many of those beautiful looking sections that I've been looking forward to seeing. And it'll be nice to return nearby to an area up there along the edge of the Wind Rivers, where I actually went to scout camp for a couple years when I was a young little scout. So super stoked to get back to the Wind Rivers and really jump into the backcountry in that range. And then finally, the next other big trip that I have penciled in, not firm on a day or weekend yet with this one, but definitely looking for a trip in late September, early October, to go down to an area that's not quite Zion National Park, but it might as well be, because it's very close to Zion National Park. And in fact, it's part of the route that I want to do actually begins or ends in Zion National Park. So there will be a little bit there, but the actual camping will happen outside of the park boundary, so I don't have to go through the permit process or stay in a designated site, backcountry site. In between all that, hoping to again start getting back out with my kids and start doing some one-on-one trips with them again. Did not get to do that last year, so hopefully try and make those happening in this year. And then also just with friends, some local overnighters, get out with some friends, do some little 1 to 2 night weekend trips, and we'll just fill those in as the year goes on. And then hopefully try and be a little bit more active on YouTube again. I know I said that last year and it didn't happen. Well, I'm hopefully going to recommit here and got a lot of ideas for various videos to fill in the time between trips to keep my channel here on YouTube a bit more active. So I'll definitely try and fit in some gear reviews, definitely try and do some more little tips and tricks videos, and some backpacking basics and how-to videos on things that I've learned and how I would share that with beginners. I know there's a ton of beginner backpacking videos out there, but that's a series that I've always been wanting to do. And whoops, that's a little series I've been wanting to do, and I just want to produce that little series from my perspective. So that's something I'm going to probably roll out in the spring, is a series of backpacking basics. Also want to get into like some cooking and recipe demonstration videos and go down that route a little bit. And then another series that I want to try and start up, which I was going to do last year but postponed it for this year, is start hitting a lot more of my local Wasatch Mountain trails here out my front door here, and start putting together like some little short little trail guides for some of the more well-known and popular trails, and maybe some other lesser known trails that don't have so much traffic, to kind of spread the crowds out a little bit, because some of the trails out here are just insanely packed from day to day. And so yeah, I think it'd be fun to do a little series of trail guides there. So primarily aiming those at, you know, day hikers and or overnight, you know, backpacking trips for those who are keen to throw on an overnight pack and enjoy those trails that way. That's look at what's on tap for 2021. Again, fingers crossed that things get better for everybody out there, and make this a great year. Happy Groundhog Day, everybody. See you on the next one.